Thank you so much. My name is Sunny Kim, and I am the Program Manager for UCSB's Professional and Continuing Education Department. Some of you guys may have taken some courses with me. If not, maybe in the future, you guys will sign up and maybe I'll be teaching one of the classes. I'm so excited to present our first ever virtual job fair. So hopefully it goes as smoothly as I planned, but sometimes with technology and you have a vision and it doesn't always get implemented, but I'm going to be flexible today. We have 6 amazing organizations here kind of ready to recruit our students. And for our panelists, our organizations, our students are very motivated. I've taught many of these students and they're very dedicated. They ask good questions. Our students are so determined, but I think the piece that they really seek is the quality supervision. And I know you guys, since we have great partnerships with, offer amazing supervision. So with that in mind, I'm hoping that hopefully today you guys will be able to match where some of our students will be interested in applying. Hopefully it'll be a good match. That's the goal for today. Additionally, our students, some of them have, all of them actually have a master's degree for our BCBA program. And then if they are in the BCABA program, they have at least a bachelor's degree. So all of our students here have the proper credential. They're just working towards their BCBA or BCABA coursework completion so they can add a few extra letters at the end of their name. The way this job fair is going to work out is we will have each organization kind of give a 5 to 7 minute spiel about why their company is amazing, all the amazing stuff that they are able to provide. And we will listen to the different organizations. And then after that, I have created breakout rooms. And so you guys are welcome to go into individual breakout rooms. You guys can select which breakout rooms you guys want to join and ask these people questions. If you guys have your resumes handy, I would recommend, exchanging that via email. And hopefully we can get some good recruitment going through this job fair.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan, and I'm a BCBA with Piles & Associates. I'm the clinical director both for our Los Angeles office and for our Central Coast office. So a little bit about how we started. We've been a company for 11 years. We initially started providing adult services. And 4 years ago, I got our kids division up and running after graduating from Cal State Sacramento, where I learned to specialize in teaching verbal behavior to young kids with autism. So we have a couple different service models that we provide. We provide direct services. So that's a behavior therapist position, and they're working directly with kids. We also have parent training models and consultative models. We specialize, my division specializes in early intensive behavioral interventions, but if anybody is interested in adult services and you're around the Los Angeles area, I can direct you to the person to talk to for that experience too. My qualifications, I'm a published author in the analysis of verbal behavior. I developed a protocol to teach kids with autism to ask why. So all of the verbal behavior training I love to do, especially the complex stuff that a lot of our kiddos struggle with later on. We provide evidence-based treatment. So everything that we do is the state-of-the-art, most up-to-date protocol based on the research that's always coming out. We provide a lot of staff training and management. I'm working on my PhD right now that has an OBM focus. So I'm very into OBM in addition to the verbal behavior training. And I love to hype our BCBA internship supervision. We have a lot of opportunities that are paid for our supervisees to get those unrestricted hours. So our hierarchy includes a behavior therapist who's supervised by a senior therapist, and their main responsibility is providing training on clinical procedures and collecting treatment integrity data on their supervisees. And so that's a great way to dip your toes into supervision because you get to see the effects that treatment integrity lapses have on clinical programming before you jump up to the BCBA role and you have to kind of drive the entire clinical ship and figure out why your client's not making progress. We're very involved with our interns. Most of them are able to do concentrated field work, and we are really focused on quality assurance. And so I like to call us a boutique ABA agency because we like to focus on having really high quality staff, providing really high quality treatment. And so we stay a little bit smaller so that we can provide the supervision that's necessary to ensure that quality. We are also accredited with the Behavioral Health Center of Excellence. So that just means that we really have our ducks in a row with all of our HR procedures and our quality assurance procedures. And we have a great careers page if you want to see what life is like from our employees' standpoint. And this website talks a lot about us. So thank you all for listening.
I will share that I think your company has a YouTube video, right, that talks about the BCBA exam.
Yes, we are knocking out every task list item on the BCBA exam. I think we are up to D right now, and next week I will be recording on experimental design, which I love. So like, share, subscribe, leave us comments.
And Megan was so nice enough to share the YouTube link. And then Wendy, did you have a question for Megan?
Yes, you specifically mentioned that you had some research on working with students on how to ask the question why. Can you speak a little bit more about that and expand on it?
Yes, I can perhaps share the article, but if you'd like to email me, we can take this offline just because it's pretty complex. You have to have an establishing operation and abolishing operation condition, and there's a lot that goes into it. But I'm definitely happy to chat more about that.
Awesome.
Okay. Second question, do you have a BCBAD in your staff?
Yes, we have 2 BCBADs, and I am halfway there.
Yay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for, joining us in this career day. Looking forward. My name is Miguel Mesa. I'm the regional coordinator with Positive Behavior Support PBS here in Imperial Valley. We serve around 26 states across the nation. So one of the perks of working with us is that if you ever wanted to move, most likely you're going to have an agency or region that you can just relocate. Our systems and operations are across throughout the United States. So if you're working on a plan or you're working in assessments or anything like that, it transitions to any of the states that you go. It's the same operational system. One of the great things that we got going right now, if you're familiar with the ABA Quizlet, so PBS has just created their own ABA quiz because we believe in just the next future generation of BCBAs and RBTs in our company. So we invested in something heavily and we created the same app. So it's pretty fun. It's interactive. It's actually, if you wanted to download it, you're more than happy. If you're working with us, it's free. So you always have an opportunity if you want to, improve your skills, your knowledge, and anything like that, you have it. We also have developed a PBS Live because we also are very concerned and we want to have the confidentiality with HIPAA. So we have our own PBS Live, which is kind of like the Zoom application. So if you ever needed to do telehealth or anything like that, talk about your treatment team. So if you're connected with client Miguel Mesa, for instance, anybody who's connected with that treatment request can just easily send a message and everybody's connected in the same platform. They don't have to bother you with an email. They don't have to bother you with your personal cell phone or anything like that, which we know we should never be doing, right? But we know that sometimes it happens. So we created that platform. We also have an all integrated system with PBS for data collection. As we know, that's very important. I think a lot of ABA providers are always outsourcing them with Central Reach and other agencies like that. But everything is in-house with PBS. Our platform, how it looks kind of like, I always say it's like Facebook, because it really does look like that in some way. So you have a PBS Live chat box that you can chat with your team if you wish to, if you're using the desktop. Another great thing about it is that with us, you always see the openings if you're a BCBA, BCABA, a student analyst, an RBT, or an entry-level ABA therapist. You get to see the openings and you can always send a message of interest if you're interested in one of these clients. So it's a really cool platform that we have. It really works awesome in that sense. So I'll show a couple of things that I want to share with you very quickly. One of the fun things that we just recently did, I think everybody here in California is aware, we just went to Calava. So one of the cool things about working with PBS is that you get to have this whole integrated system with us at no cost. PBS will, okay, so one of the things I want to show you, we went to Calava just recently. And one of the cool things about working with PBS is that if you're working with us and you want to go to Calava, it's free at no cost. The company will pay for your hotel stay, and we will reimburse you for anything that you decide to do with registrations and stuff like that. PBS has an own in-house CEUs. You would never have to worry about getting CEUs and other platforms. We provide those on a daily basis. You register for them, you get an automatic certificate, so you can show proof that you're also receiving your CEUs. This is just a handful of people that participated in the California region. We are located Central Cali Coast, which is over there by Monterey. We have Greater Sacramento. We're also in the Central Valley, where that's kind of like in Fresno. We're also located in LA Metro. We also can have the Southern California, which is the San Diego region area. And we also have Imperial Valley, which is kind of right here next to the border. That's where I'm at. It's always really hot. So we're over here next to Yuma, Arizona, if you're familiar with those areas. That's where I'm from. So this is one of the cool things that you can have with us if you join our team. The other thing, as you can see here, this is our map. You can see everywhere we're listed. So if you ever wanted to, you're moving out, you want to change, whatever situations happen in your life, you're more than welcome to transfer. It's a simple transfer. It doesn't take much. You just let your team know, and we're more than happy to send you your way to wherever you want. And the whole system operations, like I said, is the same. It doesn't change. The other thing I wanted to show you is that when you apply with us, you go to teampbs.com, you go to careers. Obviously, you select the position that you want and everything like that. You'll see all these dynamic things, and it says apply now. We also have a video and everything that I can show you, but I know that time is running. So I'm trying to speed everything really fast so I can give you all these perks that we have here at PBS, because it's really a fun environment that we have. We have more than 1,000 analysts hired across the nation. Like I said, we have a step-up program, a mentorship program where you meet monthly. If you're attending a university, you get to attend monthly meetings as a mentorship. You also get the perks that you assist the quarterly meetings with the analysts and the whole team, the supporting. So you get the feel for it. You get 1 hour of paid time indirect for every client that you have. We also have a path to becoming like an assistant supervisor, because in California, you can be a paraprofessional with most of the funding sources. So we have that whole pathway that you also get that experience, and we work on the 3-tier model where you have the BCBA, program manager, RBT, or therapist in the field. So I just want to show you very quickly. You select the state. We're in California. This will take you to the right place if you're deciding to join our team. The Santa Barbara, where you guys are at, I know we're opening that region right now, and we're working on that. So it's open. So if you guys want to apply, I know there's cases for you and opportunities in that area. So pretty much it's simple. You apply right here, guys. You put what position you are, if you're not an RBT, don't worry. You can even do the RBT course with us if you wanted to, at no cost. Or if you want to pay $99, you can go ahead and do it yourself. We'll be more than happy to do that competency assessment for you. So you can do that with us. Regarding the competency assessment, we also do a dynamic thing where you can record yourself and we do it, or we can do it in vivo with you, just depending on the situation or the speed that we need you. We can help you with that situation, okay? Once you complete this process, guys, you get an automatic email. In this email, you're gonna do a virtual interview. So the cool thing about this is that once you complete it, less than 48 hours, guys, you will get somebody that's gonna tell you if you're ready to come join PBS. We will send you a pre-hire documents. You go through the process, and then eventually you're enrolled with us, right? And you start your whole pathway to becoming BCBAs with us. Just really quickly, as I'm finishing the perks, here you are. So you have paid time with us, sick leave, you have drive time. We have more than 30 partnerships with universities and also with agencies that help you with studying to become a BCBA. We have the PBS mentorship program, as I mentioned. We also have the student analyst role. And then also choice of which classes you want to take. You have that opportunity. We have a flexible schedule. And my last thing that I wanted to highlight with you guys is this. As I mentioned, we have more than 1,000 analysts at the Team PBS. We believe in a culture of professional development and collaboration throughout training. We have leadership training. So above me, you have the central office, right? Above me, then you have my clinical director. We have a whole leadership team that helps you review your reports, that helps you with training if you need it or your staff need it. Then you have a whole marketing department, and you have admin support that we can help you. And then we have internal committees. We have crisis support. We have an ethics committee. We have diversity and culture, inclusivity. And like I said, the student analyst program for BCBA supervision, student analyst positions, role-specific trainings, university scholarships, RBT credentialing. And one of the good things about us, guys, is that if you come with us, we do not charge you for any supervision. We do not put you in a contract. If you choose to leave us, that's okay. You can leave and we'll sign your hours with no fees or any hidden fees with that, okay? The other thing is for behavior analysts, we are, like I said, we have a lot of them, free CUs, as I mentioned. You can always enroll with them, even if you don't need them and you just want to, learn a thing. If you're an assistant, if you're an RBT or you're a program manager, student analyst, you're more than welcome to join those at your time. And then we have the innovative technology. Like I said, we have 3 apps that are all for PBS that are made in-house to better serve our clients and our families. And then the incredible benefits, as I mentioned, right? And I think that's it. I don't know. I think I spoke really fast. I was trying to get everything in there. I think I did a good job. And then, like I said, we have social media across the company. I can show you some fun stuff, but like I said, I don't want to take more time. If you guys want to meet separately, I'm more than happy to answer more of your questions. Thank you very much.
And then I think we had Anna, also from PPS. I don't know if you wanted to say a few words.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, yes.
Hey, I don't understand your Twitter.
No worries. So just gonna piggyback off of everything that Miguel was sharing, because everything is 100% true and accurate, right? Like 100%, like we're lucky to be a part of the same team. So really quick, it's gonna be really just to reinforce everything that Miguel was already like touching upon. So we are Team PBS, right? Our company mission is really based on focusing on improving the quality of life of families that we service, but we also really focus a lot on the quality of life of our staff, right, of our team members, because that is what we really consider ourselves, a team. So our mission statement is to create a responsive system that applies the principles of PBS to meet the needs of individuals and families to produce a quality of change that quality of life change that lasts, right? So what that really means is that once we start an FBA and things like that, one of the biggest questions that we ask our families is, what does your perfect day look like, right? Because we really want to focus on servicing these families and really focusing on what their goals are as a family, for their client, for the individual. So we really want to make sure that we are touching bases on every aspect of their natural environment. And then the second portion, this really applies to you guys, would be to develop an organization that attracts the most competent, enthusiastic people and turns them into proficient professionals. I believe that both Miguel and I can really like say that we are true testaments to this portion of our mission statement, because I actually started out with PBS as a behavior assistant, grew into a student analyst, program manager, BCBA, and now I'm the regional clinical training coordinator for my region. So it's truly dozens of opportunities available, a lot everywhere, no matter what region you work in, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So we're currently, like everything that Miguel was saying, right? We're currently in like about, actually I think it's an updated number, 23 states. And we are also servicing Canada as well. We are growing really fast. So we do really pride ourselves in providing a small team feel, because every single region in the state of California and all of our regions, we have a coordinator or a clinical director, or a regional coordinator, or a regional clinical training coordinator. There's always a lot of people to ask questions with. So just because you're working for a large company doesn't mean that you won't be in the, like a you won't have anyone to go to, So our commitment to our employees and students is to ensure that they receive the support and training and the guidance that's needed to uphold the best practices in ABA. So what Miguel showed you guys, right? The huge map, and exactly what he was saying, we are, if whatever reason, right, life throws a curveball at you and you needed to move or anything, you have a job security anywhere we are, okay? So we have a lot of opportunities for employment following training and practical experiences. So we also have clients and providers throughout the country to match students in field experiences with close to their home location as possible. So what that really means is that we have all kinds of BCBAs working with us, and whoever it is that you are interested in working with, we can always connect you to those people. What Miguel was saying earlier, right? We have a lot of different committees as well, subcommittees, to go ahead and really focus on what you are interested in learning. Part of our professional opportunities, in case you are not already a registered behavior technician, which is a nationwide recognized certification, we do provide that to you at no cost to you at all. So we offer you the 40-hour online training for you. We also go ahead and assign you with the BCBA to provide the competency assessment. And then we go ahead and give you a pay rate increase of $1 to $3 usually, depending on the region, to go ahead and get that certificate, and we give you that pay rate increase, okay? So part of that as well, new hires are all new hires, no matter who you are, right? You can immediately begin the RBT coursework at no cost to you. Once that is done, we also do offer like a one-to-one guidance to provide you the next steps and how to apply for the exam. And then we also provide study materials for this exam as well. And once the RBT exam is passed, we give you the pay rate increase. We also offer the student analyst role, which would apply to all of you guys. So if you're already in a master's degree program to pursue your BCBA certification, you'd be coming in as a student analyst. So we'd go ahead and have that title change and pay rate increase to match that student analyst role. And we would also give you admission to our mentorship program. So once that happens, you can begin accruing hours immediately once you have a BCBA on your team. The conference registration, like Miguel was saying as well, we do offer that at no cost to you. So you'd attend your state ABA conference every year. You also do get a one billable indirect hour per month per client that you have to start accruing those indirect hours. If you haven't already reviewed any supervision standards with anyone, you'll know that that's usually the hardest part to accrue for your total 2,000 hours, the indirect portion. So we really focus on helping you get and obtain those hours. You also get access to online CEU events. CEUs mean that's continuing education units, so at no cost to you as well. And then we also cover the cost of one of your textbooks. Usually it's the Cooper book because it's you need it for every class. One-time reimbursement for your BCBA exam registration fee is covered by us as well. And like Miguel was saying, right, there's no commitment, no cost to you. So that's a really, really big perk as well, because like he was saying, we would all still sign off on your hours no matter what, because you're a part of our team. So the student analyst mentorship meetings that we do also offer, meetings are focused on topics of importance and implementing ABA services. So we really, really focus on solution. We're really solution oriented. So if you have an issue going on in one of your cases, or just something that really matches what's happening in your case to what you're studying in class, the mentorship meetings are the place to kind of discuss all of that and get more orientation and guidance as to how to handle situations. So the mentor meetings are designed based on differentiated learning structure. So that way, it's a discussion. It's a big discussion. And then there are assignments with those mentor meetings that can also include indirect hours for you to also add onto your tracker, okay? So once you've accrued the max restricted number of hours as a student analyst, in some of our regions, you are able to get promoted to a program manager role. So with the program manager role, you would be considered a direct supervisor, providing both case oversight and parent training on the cases that you're working with. And on those cases, you would have a BCBA mentor. So with them, you would assist with supervision, parent training, you'd assist with assessments and conducting FBAs. You would be shadowing someone for those FBAs, and then you'd also assist in potentially writing treatment plans, and you're given direct feedback from a BCBA. We would never want you to jump into a BCBA role and never have seen an FBA be conducted, right? So you really want to have those models for you. So those mentors as BCBAs are going to be a great resource. Program managers also are, as a program manager, all of the hours that you're billing for directly with your clients would be considered unrestricted hours. And like I said, that's the biggest bulk of your hours that's more difficult to obtain. So if you are in a region that has a program manager role, that is a great, quicker way to obtain those hours. And then also as program managers, you'd also still be included into the mentorship program. So you'd also be a part of BCBA study prep sessions that we have held on a monthly basis. So after your BCBA, what now, right? So if you are part of Team PBS, bring your BCBA. Each region does have a senior analyst that further supports your path into your BCBA, right? So as senior analysts, they help you transition into your BCBA role, and they provide monthly consulting supervision, which is required by the board, and you have ongoing support on your cases. So we don't just kind of throw you in there and let you fend for yourself, right? Their support every single role, every single step of the way for you. And then we also have dozens of continuing education course units available to our team at no cost. And then, like Miguel was saying, we have the flexibility to create your own teams and the hours you would like to work, which is a huge plus. I mean, not only like are we focused on quality of life, that's part of the quality of life, right? That we really want to make sure that there's a work-life balance. So when you join Team PBS, right, there are high competitive rates, continuing education at no cost to you at all. And then you'd also be a part of our mentorship program, which includes all of that guidance and support throughout each one of your roles. And then there, like I said, there are growth opportunities available in every single region that we service. I really believe that burnout is a huge disease, right? And like, especially in like in this field. Okay. So burnout is definitely real. And I believe that you burn out when you run out of opportunities to grow. So this is one of those places that there are a lot of opportunities to grow. So we would love to have you guys on board to help with that.
Awesome.
If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to Miguel or myself. Okay, and like Miguel showed you, at teampbs.com is where you'd be able to find additional information and how to apply for our teams. Okay, thank you so much, Sunny.
Wendy, did you have a question?
Your company has grown exponentially over the past 15 years or so.
Yes.
Your founder, Maria, is it still the same owner, or is it now more of a corporate fund ownership type of?
So our founder was Dr. Mike Nolan. So he's still heavily involved in every single aspect of what we do. And I think that also speaks volumes of the type of culture that we have at our agency, because he is heavily involved and he is continuously working to go ahead. Every single app that Miguel was talking about, right? Like, it's just additional ways like for us to grow as a team. And the great thing about it, though, is that even though like it's such a large agency, he is still involved in a lot of different regions, a lot of different meetings and everything like that. So that's the cool thing about it, that we do still have that's each region has its own team. So there's always support for you, like on a one-to-one basis as well.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Evan Ryerson. I'm one of the executive directors and owners of New Summit Behavioral Therapy. We are here up in Oregon. We only have 2 locations. We are in Eugene, Springfield, and the Bend, Redmond area. Yes, Springfield, as in The Simpsons. That is the actual Springfield from The Simpsons. So if you guys are big Simpsons fans, come live in the actual city. So it was revealed a couple years ago that that's where it was based off of. So we, like I said, so we have 2 clinics. We were starting, a little bit about us. This is me and my family. I'm a BCBA. Catherine, my wife, is also a BCBA. And yes, we have 4 boys. These are all 4 of them right here. And so you might hear them in the background. So I apologize for any loud noises or crashes that you might hear. We started New Summit back in June of 2020. Yeah, right when the pandemic shutdowns happened. That's when we got started. And we actually got started because of the pandemic. So my wife and I were at a different company in the area, and everything got shut down. We got shut down, and we were still in contact with families and everything like that, who kept saying, hey, we still need help. Like, just because everything's shut down doesn't mean that everything we need help with is also shut down. So we decided to leave our company that we enjoyed working for and start New Summit to kind of help with the pandemic. We figured, hey, we could still do this safe and effectively, and really help out the community, because there's just not a lot of ABA in Oregon to begin with. So that's how we got started. We started with just a couple of BTs, and we started in-home, and then we moved into a clinic. So we were doing half clinic, half in-home most of the time. And we moved into a clinic October of 2020, and we've just kind of grown from there. We moved out to Bend in the summer of 21, so about a year later, because we kept hearing that there weren't very many ABA services out there either, and we figured we could really help out with the wait lists and everything that are out there. Currently, we have wait lists in both areas. Like I said, Oregon is really lacking, not just in ABA, but in a lot of fields: occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, all that stuff. It's really interesting. When you're in Portland, you'll find those services, but you'll still have a wait list. Once you go south of Portland, not very much at all. So, so that's kind of where we're at. Like I said, we're in Eugene and in Bend. We start off with new clients that are 7 years and younger, but we will work with clients up until they're about 12, 13. Our primary focus is on early intervention. And part of the reason too that we start off with the 7, you got to be no older than 7 to start services with us, is again because of that wait list. We knew how big the wait lists were already in the area. We knew that if we were to say do the 18-month to 22 that a lot of companies do to begin with, we knew that we would just be completely inundated with clients needing services. And so we decided, you know what, it's better to get more kids in here and start with the early intervention than have this really, really big, long wait list. So once we get to 12, 13 years old, we help out the families look around for other services in the area if we can find them and things like that. But our goal by that time is for our clients to not need ABA at all anymore. Now, since we've only been a company for about 2.5 years, coming up on 3 in June, we haven't gotten to that 12, 13 yet, because we start with the oldest would have been 7. So our oldest clients are maybe around 9 or 10. But a majority of our clients, I'd say the average is between 4 or 5 years old. Like I said, we're really trying to focus on that early intervention side of things. Like I said, like it is right here, it says we predominantly focus on the autism spectrum disorder diagnosis. That's what insurance is able to cover and everything like that. We do occasionally step outside of that, but our scope is within the ASD diagnosis. There we go. So here we are. So like I said, we do home-based therapy, community-based therapy, and then our clinic. This is our clinic in Springfield. It is a small building. We grew out of that building within like 5 months of moving in. And so we are actually trying to get into a bigger building here in the Eugene area, right on the border of Eugene, Springfield. To be honest, our Bend building is a lot prettier. I will admit, just with all this, it almost looks like it's in a forest. So it's kind of cool. So we kind of do things a little bit differently with so basically how our schedule works. We have 3 blocks in each day. So we have a morning block, an afternoon block, and an evening block. And these are the blocks that behavior technicians are scheduled with one-on-one with our clients. And it's Monday through Thursday. I'll get to Friday in a second, okay? So we have our morning block, 8:45 to 11:30-ish, just depending. I say 11:30-ish because we might shift that by 15 minutes or so, depending on if a client has another session right after that, or there's some sort of drive time issue or whatnot. We might have to end at 11:15 and everything. But we do not schedule therapy any ABA prior to 8:45. Everyone will start at 8:45, no earlier than that. 6 o'clock is when everybody ends. We don't go past that. Scheduled. Now, I know there's been a couple behavior techs that might stay over a little bit just because they're helping out with maybe some challenging behaviors or answering questions from families and stuff like that, but we do not schedule anyone past 6 o'clock. Okay. Then on top of that, we have Mondays and Wednesdays that we pair together. In other words, whatever clients you see on Mondays, you see on Wednesdays. Same with Tuesday and Thursday. And the reason we do that is it really helps with generalization with our clients because they're seeing multiple BTs. It also helps out with some of the burnout, as we've talked about here in a couple other areas. This field does get some higher burnout. And so we are switching up clients frequently enough. We've noticed that really helps with some of that burnout and everything. The other thing too is that one of the biggest issues is cancellations. Well, I've been in the field for a long time. That's been one of the biggest issues. Parents canceling, clients being sick, clients going on vacation, all that kind of stuff. And so by having that every other day model, if you have a client that's maybe out Monday and Tuesday, then one BT is only missing 1 session, not 2, because they're not back to back. So that's one of the things. The other thing we do is Fridays. Fridays are reserved for makeup sessions. So if you have a cancellation on Monday with a client and you have Friday available, you can offer that client a makeup session. So you're not doing makeup sessions on Saturdays or Sundays, you're eating into your weekend and stuff like that. No, you have your makeup session on Friday and you still have your weekend. to kind of relax, chill, go do whatever you want to do. So with BCBAs, generally, they don't have anything scheduled on Fridays because they're not necessarily doing makeup sessions. Sometimes we do an intake on a Friday. Sometimes I try and avoid doing intakes on Fridays. Sometimes the BCBAs will schedule a family consultation or behavior or parent training on Fridays if the families can't do any other day of the week. But otherwise, for BTs and for BCBAs, there's nothing scheduled. You got a 3-day weekend and can't really argue too much about that. I know I could never go back to working the full 5 days a week. 3-day weekends are great. Let's see. Just want to make sure I covered all that stuff. Oh, the other thing too, for our clients, we usually start with new clients 10 hours a week at the least. Just because of the data, we want to make sure that we are providing, effective ABA, and at least 10 hours, which is still pretty minimal, is what we start off with a lot of clients. Now, we might start reducing that down to like maybe 5 hours if we see that clients have made enough progress and we're on the transition out process. But generally, at least 10 hours. But I'd say a majority of our clients get probably anywhere from 15 to 20 hours a week. We have some clients who actually are there 8:45 to 6 Monday through Thursday. So 37 hours a week. All right. These are our areas of focus. It's covering, so let me just pull this up. We have obviously social emotional skills that we work on definitely in the clinic and in the community settings. Communication skills is definitely one of the top things we focus on for sure. Whether that be, vocal verbal, AAC devices. We don't use sign language too often just because we're wanting to make sure that it is something understood by a majority of people. So we don't use sign language too much. Same with PECS. We don't use PECS too much for the same exact reason. Family guidance, which is parent training, one of our primary focuses. Obviously impeding behaviors and daily living skills. So I always tell parents, any new parents that are wanting to start with us, they ask what we focus on, what we're going to be working on. I say there's 2 things that we seem to focus on the most, and it's not necessarily because this is a new summit guideline or rule or anything like that. The 2 things we focus on are communication skills and then potty training and everything like that. Okay, so because our average age is 4 or 5 years old, and so we are going to be working on those potty training skills. Now, our overall goal is to get kids as independent as possible according to their age. And if we're working on communication skills, if we're working on potty training skills, that's what we're going to see is that those independent skills increase. All right, our values, like I said, independence. That's what I tell parents when they ask us what we're doing. Independence. That's what we want to see. And in order to see that independence, we need to see an increase in communication skills. We need to see an increase in those daily living skills and things like that. I'm not going to be working on kids learning how to match colors if they can't even unzip their lunchbox to get their food out. That's what we're going to be focusing on, everything like that. So a couple things that about New Summit, working as a collective. What does that mean? That means that when we're doing supervision as BCBAs, we're going to check in with the BTs. What are they seeing? They see the clients more often than we do. So we want to know what their recommendations and stuff are. We want to know what they're seeing, what they need help with. We want to know what some areas that they would recommend us focus on and everything like that. So we check in with them and we value their opinions. We want to know because they see them often. Client-centered. We are going to be, a lot of our programs are naturalistic or natural environment teaching. Okay, we're going to be playing, having fun. We're not going to be sitting at the table 24/7 running DTT. Now we do DTT sometimes, but a lot of it's going to be more fun. We're going to be following our clients around, seeing what they're engaging with and playing with so that we can use those opportunities to also teach. Simple. Our behavior plans are 1 page. If I see a BCBA writing a behavior plan that's more than one page, I tell them to shrink it down, figure it out. Because the issue that we see is that if we have behavior plans that are longer than one page, parents aren't going to follow it and BTs aren't going to follow it. So we keep things simple, because simple is what works, because simple will be followed. And that's the same thing with any goals or targets that we have too. We keep it simple, because if it gets too complicated, no one's going to run it. All right, I'm going to keep going. Let's see. So here's some of our staff perks. First one here, one of the main ABA principles, obviously, is positive reinforcement, right? So the thing that we've noticed is that ABA companies are so heavy on positive reinforcement, right? Obviously, we need to be, but we don't do it with our staff. Why not? Why isn't that happening? So we make sure we do it with our staff. We use this really cool program called Bonusly. All right, and Bonusly is our staff coworker recognition system. Everybody gets 50 Bonusly points at the beginning of each month to use those points and give to other people however they see fit. So for instance, if I get help with a challenging behavior and stuff, I go, hey, thanks, I appreciate it. Then I go in the Bonusly app and I give them 10 Bonusly points. Then the cool thing is those Bonusly points have a monetary value. So every 10 points is $1. So essentially everybody gets $5 to give to other people however they see fit to increase that positive reinforcement and everything. So that's what our focus is on too, is it's not just positive reinforcement with our clients, it's positive reinforcement with staff around us and everything too. We want to make sure that our staff are happy and supported. Okay, so we have our BCBA strive for 20% supervision. So because we've noticed that if it's just the 5% supervision as required, staff aren't getting as much support. We want to see that support. And so BCBAs are, obviously, they're not always going to hit that 20%. We're striving for 20%, but it'll be in between 10 and 20% is what we're really looking for. And then increased supervision also means increased progress with the goals and targets that we are seeing. Let's see, we check in with BTs on a regular basis, making sure that there's nothing that New Summit can do differently. And that's the nice thing too, since we're a small company, that we're able to connect with people regularly and make sure that there's something that we can actually do differently, or if there's anything that they recommend. We have a few other things too, and I don't want to take up too much more time, but by going through everything. But one of my favorite things we also do is each of our locations has a stocked break room. What does that mean? At the beginning of each month, our office managers go to Costco, buy all the unhealthy snacks that they can find, and stock up our break rooms. And I say unhealthy because we need the sugar. We work with kids, right? We need the carbs, we need the sugar, all that stuff. And so one of just the fun things that we do with our staff, they can go in, grab a Rice Krispie treat because one of the kids was eating one and they're hungry and they want one too. For graduate students in ABA, our person that is in charge of the ABA students, the leader of the ABA students, I guess you could say, is Dr. Lindsay Gugach, who is an alumni from UC Santa Barbara. So she's in charge of tracking hours with the ABA students. She meets with them once every 2 weeks. She helps give assignments for unrestricted hours. We do provide some paid unrestricted hours too. It just kind of depends on where you're at in your coursework, and also how long you've kind of been with us too. We want to make sure that people who are going to be put in those unrestricted hour positions have been with us for a few months, just so that our philosophy and our ideals and everything like that has kind of rubbed off on you. We make sure that we're following exactly what we want to see and everything too. So we do require at least 10 hours a week if you are going to be employed with us. If you are going to be doing less than 10 hours a week, then we can always chat about maybe unpaid internships and things like that. And 10 hours a week, that's 2 sessions. Remember, we go back to those block schedules. That's like an afternoon and evening on Monday and Wednesday. So that's 4 sessions. That equates to about 10 hours. For BCBAs, let's go here, small caseloads. Our focus is on, our cap is 150 direct therapy hours per week. In other words, if you have, if all your clients that you have on your caseload, if they total to the 150 direct hours. So if you take 20% of that each week, that'd be 30 hours per week. Okay, so that's kind of our guideline and everything. And I say that as a guideline. Our focus isn't always necessary to hit those 30 hours because we know it's not always going to be possible because cancellations happen, other meetings pop up, things like that. We want to strive for those, that 20% is what we're looking for. If you're maintaining that 20% and your team feels supported, that's what we want to see. Mentorship collaboration. What's fun is, we have meetings every week with all the BCBAs. We try and get out often and have like dinners and everything like that and meet outside the office and everything as well. And then also this work-life balance and stuff. One of the things that, like I said, we have those 3-day weekends. The other thing too that we also do, and we're actually on it right now, is we have these scheduled breaks throughout the year. So what we call optional work days for BT specifically. So like right now we have spring break. Okay, for all the districts are on spring break right now. We're on spring break too. But if as a BT, if you want to work, you can still do hours and go in the home and stuff. Because I get it. It's kind of that bittersweet. I want some time off, but I also need to work those hours and make money and everything like that. So it's an option for you. And you can choose how to work however you want during spring break. You can work Monday, Tuesday, just the mornings, however you want and stuff. And you don't have to worry about putting in a time off request or anything. They're scheduled throughout the year. So you can actually make plans and know that you're going to have that time off. For BCBAs, that's just built into your schedule. So we got spring break. We got 2 days in June. We got a week during 4th of July, the 4th of July week. That whole week is one. We got 2 days in September, day before Thanksgiving, and a week and a half during the winter holidays. So 5 weeks total throughout the year. Because we get it, burnout happens. And by having these weeks, and it gives people something to look forward to. Just like being in a school. That was one of my favorite things about working in a school district. It's like, okay, spring break is just a couple weeks away. If I could just get there, I can recharge my batteries and then get me through the year. Same thing for us. That's exactly why we do it. So our like I said, focus is making sure that their burnout isn't happening and that staff feels supported. Here's a picture of our Eugene Springfield staff. We rented out a trampoline park just last week. So at night we had the whole trampoline park to ourselves. As you can see, some of my kids in here and everything like that. Some of the other staff brought their kids along as well. Had a blast. We were all very sweaty just from jumping like crazy because I don't know how kids do it. They have got all that energy and everything. So just one of the fun things that we do. We try and do something at least once a month with all staff, whether it's here or out in Bend, both and everything like that. It's called the Party Planning Committee for all those Office fans out there. And we come up with fun things to do and make sure that people can get involved as well. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, here's our website at the bottom, newsummitaba.com. You can reach out to us on that website. You can email us, which is also on the website at info@newsummitaba.com. Our phone number is on that as well, and that phone number is directly to me. So if you have any questions, feel free to call that number as well. You'll most likely get me answering it. So
Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
I think for the sake of time, we will move on, hold the questions for the end.
Hi, I am Jackie. I am at Cross Country Education. I am a recruiter, and I have Cynthia here with me today. And we're going to be going over our behavior intervention specialist position, something you might want to consider while you are completing your BCBA. Cynthia is going to go over what our Cross Country Education position has to offer as well. So we are an educator-led, student-driven, and solution-oriented company. We service the greater LA area for charter schools and district schools. We work with special education services and also with substitute teaching. So we began in 2007. We're dedicated to serving schools. So we only service school sites. So we'll be doing during the hours of operations of our schools. And we provide the special education services and the substitute teaching. And we're committed to success for all of our educators and our team of teachers. So the behavior intervention specialist role does require a minimum of 48 college credits from a accredited college or an AA degree or higher, with a minimum of 3 months of experience using the ABA methodologies in the classroom settings. And if you also have your CPI certification, that is one of the qualifications. If not, we do offer trainings. And we also look for some experience using Willigen, but again, we do offer that training if you don't have any. So part of the duties and the responsibilities is you would be working closely with the BID, who will be helping you and assisting you in and outside of the classroom to assist the teacher and the staff and monitoring the behavior of the students and applying support where needed. And you'll be using your ABA techniques and methodologies to a student that you are assigned to. And you'll be implementing the growth and the IEP for each student, and you'll be tracking and monitoring and working very closely with the BID. You're going to communicate with the staff regarding the student's progress. So we do offer an online training for our behavior interventionists for people who are currently employed. So this is for BIIs that would like a little bit more experience in the classroom or some guidance. We also offer online work hours, office hours for people who are already a BII or an CPI certified educator, and you'll be able to connect with your coworkers and kind of have that one-on-one time, ask any questions or find solutions and challenges. And then we offer an in-person CPI training that is located in our Woodland Hills office.
Thank you, Jackie. So I know some of the trainings that we do provide by Cross Country Education are free of cost to you. You just have to sign up. They are monthly sessions that we have designated. We do select dates for you to sign up. We do have also the CPI training that Jackie was mentioning earlier. This is a certification free of cost to you, and you are able to attend this training in our Woodland Hills office. And this opportunity allows you to get to know some of our members from Cross Country Education, as well as other educators like you that may be working assignments at different school locations. We do provide ongoing support from our school support team. Our teams are designated to assist you and help you throughout the process. So through the application process, we help you once you get hired on. We have a compliance team that assists you. Once you're ready to work, we have another team that is available to you Monday through Friday as early as 5 a.m. to help you ensure that you are successful working assignments with us.
To submit an application, Cynthia is going to share a link in the chat box. So that link is for you to put in some information like your name and your number, and let us know if you are interested in applying or if you have any questions. After you submit that, you're going to connect with either Cynthia and I, and we're going to send you the application. Once your application is submitted, we might have some follow-up questions to your application, and we'll also go over the interview process and more details of how our assignments work. So if after a successful interview through Spark Hire, our compliance team would be in touch with you, and they're going to go over the documents that are needed to be employed. They're also going to request a live scan or a TB test within the last 60 days. And if you don't have one, there's no worries. We do pay for a live scan and TB test at the Wellness Mart. And once onboard is complete, our school support team does reach out and they go over how to book yourself on assignments. We have two different types of assignments. We have long-term assignments, which are 2 weeks or more, and then we have day-to-day assignments. So our day-to-day assignments is done through absence and substitute profile. where if it's more on demand. And then once you're hired and ready to work, you're also eligible for cross-country education benefits. They are full benefits after 60 consecutive days of working at least 30 hours a week. So if you're interested, again, Cynthia did just drop that link in the chat box and would love to hear from you, or if you have any questions.
And so this is our direct contact information for Jackie and myself. So please feel free to write down our direct number. You have the ability of calling us or texting us, and right below is our email. So reach out if you do have any questions, and we're happy to answer them.
We do also have a referral bonus program where if you know any educators that are also interested, it could be a BCBA, a SLIPA, a special education teacher, aides, or a substitute. We do have a referral program. And if you know someone, you can just share Cynthia or my information with them and we'd get in touch with them.
Now we will have Star of California present.
Mine's a little bit informal. We actually were going to have somebody else present today, but she couldn't be here. She had a clinical need, so I jumped in. But that's fine because I've been with Star for almost 11 years now, and I started as a behavior technician who had no idea what ABA was. So I think that just reflects the growth potential we have at Star. We really do value fostering our diamonds in the rough, whether that's technician or new BCBAs, and building those skills and those education opportunities. We do have several partners in education, including UCSB. So we do have several partnership programs to offer continuing education, and you guys are already enrolled in coursework, so you don't need to worry about that part. We specialize in pivotal response treatments. That is, I think, most, if not all, but I'm going to say most of our clinical directors are graduates of the Keiko Autism Center. So we do have that strong connection with UCSB as well. And that is, again, where our PRT Foundation comes through. And other naturalistic teaching too. So our services focus primarily on children, but we do also support adults as well. We also primarily support autism, again, because of insurance funding, right? That's where the funding is available. But we also work with regional centers throughout the state of California. And we work with school districts as well. All of our offices and regions have built relationships with the school districts and the school district personnel. So we're often brought in to support with FBAs or offer classroom support, whatever they might need, which gives a lot of variety for our staff. A lot of our sessions are in home, but we can do that school support too. We can do community-based supports. We offer social skills groups as well. And we offer consultation services, whether that's consulting with the school or other professionals. You can also gain experience in that realm. In terms of supervision, we do the 3-tiered model, right? And all of our BCBAs have somebody over them mentoring them. So if that's our program supervisor, if you're a program supervisor as a BCBA, you have another BCBA over you who's a clinical manager who we meet with on a bi-weekly basis. So like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been a BCBA for 8 of those years, 7.5, something like that. And I still see my manager bi-weekly, and it's not because she's trying to tell me what to do on my programs, but she's a sounding board. And she gives me consultation on things that maybe I haven't come across before. And I value that personally so much because every day I'm learning and growing, and every single individual we support is exactly that, an individual. So that's really important aspect of our model, is we want to make sure that there's always that support available. And our managers go to our clinical directors who are BCBATs. Our full name, Star of California, is actually Star of California Behavioral and Psychological Services. So that's another aspect of our company too, is we do have our mental health division with our mental health experts. many of whom are also BCBAs who are now either splitting their time between ABA and psychological services, or maybe they're fully focused on psychological services now. But they're available to us for consultation as we need. We do know, right, there's more and more research out there about a lot of individuals with autism or autistic adults and children experience other mental health issues like anxiety or suicidal ideation or depression. So having that team there that we can get consultation from is also really helpful across the board for us too. Yeah, so I talked about we offer intensive behavioral interventions. I did mention that most of our clients are children between the ages of, I would say a majority are between the ages of 2 to 12. But again, we do also support adults as well too. And it kind of depends on the region you're in. I know that our LA region has a larger adult division than say our Santa Barbara region. So it does kind of depend on the area you're in, because we also go with our staff strengths. Our director in LA, she, before coming to STAR, worked primarily with adults. So that's really where her expertise is too. So it was easier to build an adult division in that region, right? And so as we grow and we're bringing on new people with different expertise, we're also growing and we're following that. So it's a very organic growth system, right? We're not kind of forcing anything that we're not ready for. We're looking at our expertise. And that's another thing that we've introduced over the last 2 years, I think is when we started introducing it, is our clinical grand rounds, which is an opportunity for anybody who's interested to give a presentation to all the other BCBAs in our organization about a topic that you're passionate on, or maybe you've done research on. You would work with our staff support and development department to create that presentation, and they would support you in that, and whether that's giving the presentation or creating it, and making sure that you're fully confident to present to the rest of the organization, because, you know, that might be nerve-wracking. So that department supports you. And we've done a variety of topics. One of our supervisors presented research that she's been doing with autistic adults and their perception of ABA and their opinions on ABA. We had another one who was actually our director of our mental health division did a presentation on self-care for BCBAs specifically, which was very helpful. He had a lot of great strategies for boundaries we can set for ourselves and how to take care of ourselves to prevent burnout. I can't remember all the other topics right now, but it's an open forum, and they end each of those talks with, if anybody has anything they want to present, please contact our department here and we'll help you create that. So that's another great opportunity that we're still, growing into. And when I mentioned this idea of growth and growing organically too, because we are growing and we're throughout the entire state of California, we've also learned over the years that just rolling out a new policy, maybe just statewide, isn't the most effective way to do things, right? Because every office has its own internal culture maybe around it, or the community has its own culture that we need to be mindful of. So what we've started doing when we have an idea that we think would be beneficial for everyone in the agency is we pilot it, usually in 2 offices, and then we bring in a third and we get everybody's feedback from that pilot, and then we continue to grow it and roll it out. Once we have kind of an idea of what are the problems going to be. So like one of the things we're piloting right now is a BT mentor program, where we are selecting advanced behavior technicians who we're now putting them in a role where they are there to mentor new hires through their first, depending on the new hire, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months of employment. We're still working on it. Like I said, it's a pilot, so we're kind of feeling out exactly what the requirements are. But this technician is somebody who They do have to apply for the role, but it also has to be, they have to come recommended by supervisors within the division as well too. So we all have a relationship with that technician, and that we know they know how to take feedback, we know what their skill sets are, and we feel confident with them giving other technicians feedback. And it's the Santa Barbara office, which is my local office, we're one of the offices piloting it. And so far it's been so helpful, because maybe there's a case that I just can't get to as often as I want to because I have too many sessions at that time of day and I can't go more than 2 days a week, but the staff is really struggling. I've been able to call Jackie, our BT mentor, and she's gone out. And she's been able to develop a relationship with those new hires too. And the feedback that we're getting from the new technicians is a more positive overall experience into stepping into the role of ABA. So those are initiatives that, we're constantly trying to kind of try out and see what can we do to prevent burnout, because that also affects us as BCBAs. The more technicians you're having to train because of turnover, the more burnout you get, right? And once you can have, if you can have a solid team that lasts longer, you can start to feel a little bit more comfortable and happy in your role as a BCBA too. At least that's how I feel. I don't want to overgeneralize, but I feel like that's how probably most of us feel. So I'll wrap up there.
First, my name's Libby, and I wanted to just say to everybody on this call, congratulations, and I'm excited for everybody to make this step that you've taken to be in a program in this field, because it's a very unique and special field that we get to be a part of, everybody. And as some of you may or may not know, the CDC just updated the prevalence rates of autism to 1 in 36 children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. So we have a big job to do, and there's not a lack of need for you all and your education and your practice and your experience that you're going to get with any of these amazing companies that have been here today. So I want to say that because I wish somebody would have told me way back when, like how crazy of a field this was, but how amazing it is, and just where we are with ABA and what we're able to accomplish. So thank you guys for being here today and for your interest and for also pursuing this field. Today, I am here representing Santa Barbara ABA. We are a new company in the Santa Barbara area, and we're a new company in general. So I don't have a presentation and beautiful pictures like everybody has done, and I loved those presentations, and hope to get there at some point in the next several months. But we are just starting out in Santa Barbara, and we are doing some unique programming and some unique offerings for families, as far as more of a holistic or more of a wraparound service for families. So absolutely ABA, science-based, continue to do ABA. A little bit about myself. I've been a BCBA now for 15 years and have been through the rollings of the ABA field over the last several years, and have experience in schools and in-home ABA. I've worked for very large corporations as a clinical director. I have also worked for very small companies. I've done a lot of social skills development programs for companies. I also ran a nonprofit for many years, which was probably my favorite thing. I got to every Saturday morning, I got to wake up and early on Saturdays, but I got to wake up and teach soccer to kids with autism. So that was always my favorite thing to do in this field, is kind of the recreation and the social skills. So our company that we are developing in Santa Barbara is really with that in mind, which is we're not just looking at one thing for a family. We're looking at how to service the whole family. Do they need access to OT, speech, sibling support, couples therapy, family therapy? We're really looking to incorporate a lot of different offerings, including meditation and yoga, and things to really support our families through challenges and ups and downs that we see our families boggling, that we work with all the time. And so we're really looking to find a model that works for the whole family. and continue to be able to offer ABA as well, but we want to be able to supplement our science-based ABA with also some other unique offerings in the community. We are really, again, like focusing on that wraparound interest and collaborating with other organizations in the area. And we're actually looking to do research. And we'll be collaborating also on some research studies, and some of them will be including neurofeedback. And of course, we'll be providing mentorship and a pathway for all of our employees to make sure that they're growing in this field. As you've heard on these calls today or these presentations, burnout's real. We want to provide everybody with an opportunity to be creative in this space, but also follow ABA science the way that it needs to be followed and really drive those outcomes for our families. And so I truly believe, because I've been in this field a really long time, that there are some different ways that we can do this to help support the family unit better. So that's where I'm coming from. And that's kind of my philosophy on ABA and where we are. And I love ABA. I love this community. I love this field. And I think watching it grow is going to be really exciting over the several years with you guys coming into the field. Those on the call that have been in the field, I'm sure, a long time like I have. And so just kind of collaborating together. We're really looking for interest from you guys or from people in the community to come and apply to be a part of our team and help us create this model of service that we believe in. So it's a little different than some of the other organizations on this call. We're not, I don't have a program to present to you guys, but I have done these programs in the past and looking to bring people on board that are wanting to help create those programs as we go. And I will be providing all of the direct one-to-one mentorship for all of the clinicians that are on board, all of the behavior technicians that come on board as well. So it's a super exciting opportunity. And I hope that, if you guys have questions, I would love to chat with you. I'd love to, see where you guys are at in your program and all those different types of things and see how we can work together and collaborate. So thank you for having me today. And I will also put my email in the chat, and you can contact me with other questions about the company specifically or what direction we're going. And super exciting. And I'm really happy to share with you guys today. So thank you. And thank you, Sunny.
Thank you so much.